if you have the internet, you have seen news articles on my sister, Ruby, from the 8 passengers.
It also makes you think, why do you even want to have that many kids? Is it something you've always wanted, or is it, kind of like this ego boost of like, look how many children I have and look how big my family is. You know what I mean? Because I really feel like there's some parents out there that they are not having kids because they love having kids. It's more so a tax break or help from the government or all kinds of different reasons. Boosting of the ego, making sure you have kids at a certain age. I mean, there's just so many reasons why humans have kids, and most of the time, it's not necessarily due to love. Obviously, it might actually be an unplanned pregnancy. You really never know.
And you don't know what you don't know. I do feel a little bit numb.
Because it's the juice. And if you don't have the juice, you don't have it. So if you don't have the juice, you can't capitalize.
Fill the room with the juice. That's a lot of loot. That bit fire. Yeah, she kinda.
Welcome back to the channel. I did do a video of my thoughts of Miss Ruby Franke's 8-passenger crazy mother, narcissistic abuser, whatever you want to call her. I did do a video on her that is for my members only because it really was just a fresh video of how I felt immediately once I saw what had happened, and it wasn't necessarily a reaction. It was really more commentary. So we are going to be doing a reaction today of Ruby Franke's husband and sister speak out, disturbing 8-passenger arrest revealed, obviously. Before we get into today's video, I need your help naming my flower. How cute is this flower? Isn't it just adorable? We need a name for it. I just don't know what to name it, but leave your thoughts down below and we'll pick the best one. Anyways, we'll leave her here for now. Let's hop in here.
Ruby Franke has been arrested after 2 children were found malnourished with lacerations on their wrists and ankles from duct tape. These kids were tied up, they were denied food, denied water, and now Ruby and her partner Jody need to answer for this. So let's get into it.
Okay.
A lot of people who haven't heard of 8 passengers before are confused at the fact that a mother of a family YouTube channel who gives parenting advice for her career has now been arrested for harming children. She's got
the way people really are confused, like they have no idea. They're very much like, why? I don't understand. How did this person become famous? Yada yada yada. And I'm just like, well, look at that face.
2 counts against her, and her partner Jody are now arrested in jail. Well, a lot of people have been asking, where's Kevin? Because Ruby's husband has been silent, but he has now given a statement through his lawyer. So let's go ahead and break down what is going on here. So Kevin is now speaking on the child harm arrest, and Kevin's attorney, Randy, said that his client's urgent focus is to simply keep his children together under his fatherly care, which he's not doing a great job. I mean, Sherry, the oldest daughter, has been speaking out online, and it doesn't sound like she's trying to keep the family together. She's been posting on her Instagram story nonstop, and her most recent post is about Connections, which is her mother's brand with Jody, and she writes, Connections and Moms of Truth needs to go. Please report their Instagram accounts and encourage everybody to unfollow them. They do not deserve such a large audience.
Frankie's oldest daughter, Sherry, had posted on her Instagram that she is no longer in contact with her family. She posted after her mother was arrested that she was glad that it was about time and that now the children are safe. It is unknown right now where their oldest son, Chad, is. However, it is believed that...
Imagine turning your own children against you. Yikes.
He has moved out as he is 18 now, and it's also unknown if the Frankies are still together.
It does look like the page is still active. They've got 339,000 followers, and let's see if there are some recent comments. Oh my gosh, I'm sure people are tearing them up, talking about the arrest. Have fun doing your podcast in jail. How's jail feeling right now?
Not have fun doing your podcast in jail. Is that even possible? Is that even possible?
Justice has been served. Praise God. Personally, I don't think that Connections or Moms of Truth is going to be able to come back from this scandal because really, who wants to be associated with any of that? These are the type of women who, if they were my mother, they probably would have sent me to conversion camp. We have details on how Ruby was exposed because according to the arrest record, a child...
And there is a lot of parents out there that spank their kids, whoop their kids, timeouts, all kinds of things that people would consider to be abusive. But duct tape? Even me as an African child who was beat to the brim constantly in ways that I'm really not going to go into detail with, there was never no duct tape. There was never no duct tape. Duct tape, we're getting into the insane asylum. We're getting into real kidnapping. We're getting into some we're getting into some like thriller movie type vibes. You know what I mean?
fled through a window out of Jody's home and
that's
was
just
looking for
crazy.
help because they needed food and water. I mean, what type of child is like pushed to the point where they're breaking out of a window to go and look for help from
No,
someone else? Because clearly they
seriously.
can't go to their parent. And when a good neighbor noticed the child, they realized that they were emaciated and malnourished. And they also noticed duct tape around their ankles and wrists, so they called the police, as they should. I'm so glad they did.
It was their 12-year-old son, Russell, who ended up climbing out a window at Ruby's business partner, Jody Hildebrand's home.
little.
He went to a neighbor's house saying that he was thirsty, that he was afraid and wanted to call the police. And they noticed at the time that he had duct tape around his legs and deep lacerations from being tied with ropes.
Responding officers observed the child's condition to be so severe that they transported the victim to the hospital. According to the cops, the child was placed on medical hold due to deep lacerations from being tied up with rope. So these kids are being tied up with rope, they're not eating food, they're not drinking water, and they've got open wounds because of this pain that they're being inflicted on.
And for what? Because they didn't do a chore? For what? They were playing too loud? For what? You know, I want to know like what tipped you off to where you're like, yes, this is the right idea. This is the right thing to do here. Rope and duct tape and no water or food for this child. Nope, these children must be punished. Like what was the tipping point? Not putting the toys away? I'm curious. Cause it's just like, there's so many things. There's really not that many things that somebody can do to lead to that point. And not even somebody, but a damn child.
And it's insane too that, like, thinking about Eve, the daughter who, like, the 6-year-old daughter who, you know, didn't get lunch at school. I mean, there's a weird reward system that, like, Ruby has with food and her children. And I just don't think food is, like, something you play with that's going to cause these children to develop disordered eating.
I would say that I agree with that, but as somebody that came from that household, yes, food is definitely, and you know, it's weird, like, my relationship with food now as an adult, I think about it as like this sacred thing that I can only get or want if I've done certain things. And it's almost like it shouldn't even be like that. Like food should be a given because it's like you need it to survive, you know what I mean? But when you live in a dynamic where food is like hidden from you, or, you know, there's certain food that you can only have one of, or you can't have this many or that many, and it becomes like this reward system. And I think as an adult, you look back and you don't really realize how much it affects you, especially if we're talking in like drastic ways like this. Like, I don't know, but you let me know down below. Did you have some weird situation like that when you were growing up where it was like, oh, you couldn't have certain foods, or foods were, you know, locked away from you and stuff like that? Because I definitely understand that experience.
Another allegedly malnourished child was discovered shortly thereafter and was also taken to the hospital. The police report stated that Ruby had filmed a video in Jody's home just days before the incident, indicating that the former had knowledge of the harm, malnourished, and neglect. Ruby, who will be held at Washington County Jail without bail, declined to speak to
Thank
authorities
God.
and instead requested a lawyer. Of course. There's poor Chad. I actually just saw a video of him on TikTok where he was just like arguing with his family because clearly they're so dysfunctional.
You told me you don't eat breakfast.
Let me talk. You asked a question, then you all went and attacked me.
Personally, I feel like the core of this family is corrupt. There are so many families out here, especially in the Midwest.
The mom always has like this weird smirk on her face when they're like arguing or talking. Like, did you just see that? It was like this weird smirk. Like, what are you chipper about over there? I'm confused. What are we smiling about?
Who try to use their religion to prop them up or to make them seem holy or better than other families. And trust me, I've got Mormon people in my family. I've got Mormon people that I love, but there is these expectations and sometimes in Mormonism that no one could, you know, meet. And ultimately they're doing things like this to appease whatever standard they believe they need to live, which is obviously really wrong. In Utah, aggravated child harm includes starvation, broken bones, head injuries from hitting or shaking, and suffocation. So this reminds me too, like one of my videos that I made that I got the cease and desist letter for was talking about how she was like starving her children. One of the reasons why I put it back up is because this kind of falls into the charges. I mean, and if this child was malnourished, then yeah, it sounds like Ruby approves of this behavior. Following Ruby's arrest, her estranged daughter, Sherry, took to Instagram to say that her and her family are so glad that justice is being served, and claiming they've been trying to tell police and CPS for years about this. According to the sisters, the kids are now safe, which is the #1 priority, but they're gonna have years of therapy to deal with what Ruby's put them through. Looking up connections, it looks like they do have an Instagram, which doesn't have as many followers as the Moms of Truth. They also have their YouTube channel with almost 5,000 subscribers, and it looks like
Absolutely yikes. I also remember being a child that was starving, wanted food, hungry.
this is maybe the video that they just
And CBS really did not care. I'll be honest.
It's filmed in Jody's home, which is talking about the victim. Well, yeah, there's a victim there for sure. And here they are, like what, casually hanging out while there's children duct taped and tied up? It is sick. I mean, what are they even talking about?
I'm screaming.
Rainstorm and say, well, I don't want to get wet.
I mean, I don't even understand how her husband is attracted to someone like this, because this is so chaotic and bizarre. And where they were as like a family channel, I'm questioning if this is who Ruby always was, or if Jody's some extra bad influence. Like, trust me, I don't think that Ruby's any angel, but transform with Jody. Like, what is going on here? Okay, so men's and women's team. Let's see, like, how much do you have to pay for this? Oh, $21 a month or $75 a week.
$75 a week.
Or $181 with a one-on-one with Jody. Shoot, you may end up tying your kids up after that. But really, this isn't a joke. It's sick, and there's so many other people who leverage mental health or their education and psychology to really cause so much pain. And it seems like, to me, like, none of this is really about the kids at all. This is all about the parents creating joy in their life and their relationship. It's not focused on the kids' needs at all, and I don't think it ever has been. I mean, Ruby's the one who refused.
Well, doesn't it say in the Bible that you're not supposed to put your children ahead of your marriage or your relationship? Am I right about that? You guys remind me. I can't remember.
Is to feed her children and constantly hounds on them, makes them feel less than, and truly embarrass them on the internet. Now, this is actually Ruby's sister. Her name is Bonnie. She's got over 1 million subscribers, and she recently made a video responding to this mess. So I'm gonna go ahead and include a snippet of this so you guys can see how she really feels. And it looks like a lot of people are supportive of her and her like response to this. And I mean, it must be really devastating to watch your sibling do something like this, because how do you like mentally grasp with the idea that your loved one can go and harm children like this?
If you have the internet, you have seen news articles on my sister, Ruby, from the 8 passengers.
It also makes you think, you know, why do you even want to have that many kids? Is it something you've always wanted, or is it, you know, kind of like this ego boost of like, look how many children I have and look how big my family is? You know what I mean? Because I really feel like there's some parents out there that they are not having kids because they love having kids. It's more so a tax break or help from the government or all kinds of different reasons. Boosting of the ego, making sure you have kids at a certain age. I mean, there's just so many reasons why humans have kids. And most of the time, it's not necessarily due to love. Obviously, it might actually be an unplanned pregnancy. You really never know.
And my sisters and I, we are on the very same page. We put out a message. You can read that on Instagram. And for the last 3 years, we have truly clung on to each other and offering support to one another. And I don't think any of us could have ever seen this coming. We all did as much as we could legally, and you don't know what you don't know. I do feel a little bit numb at this point. The only thing that we ultimately care about is that our nieces and nephews are safe, and they are. And that is the only thing that matters to any of us. It is going to feel weird for me to move forward. And I think, do I just move forward?
Just take it a day at a time. Who knows what anything has in store, but we just know right now that those kids are safe.
I don't have any thoughts even for myself. I don't know what I would even tell myself, let alone tell all of you. Any times like these is where it really tests your belief in God. And I know that timing is everything. And I know that they will be taken care of. I know the kids will be okay. And I know our family will be okay. And things like this happen. And somehow we each find a way to move forward. No matter what situation you're finding yourself in. The sun rises every day. The sun sets every day.
Crazy.
And each day you move forward. That's all you can do.
I'm glad she's being exposed. It is about time. And what, comes around, comes back around. And I was reading that season.
And just imagine the things that have happened that they haven't said because it's too embarrassing or they don't want the whole world to know. You know what I mean? Like, there's always family secrets that are not necessarily out for everybody to know about, Scary.
Cease and desist letter the other day, and I was like, you know what? They saw this coming. They knew it was going to happen. And if you guys want to go and see that cease and desist, I've made a video about it before. But until next time, I'll see you guys in a new video soon. Bye, guys.
Bye. Yikes, and yikes again. Plants never fail us. They always do what's needed to be done. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on this video. And let me know what you think about this situation, because it's giving narcissistic mother. I don't know what else to say other than narcissistic parenting, narcissistic mother, religion being the guide of all guides, aka even if it's a terrible thing or I shouldn't do this, God was the one that told me, and the way is the Lord. And you know how people justify bad things through their religion. It's definitely that. It's just so crazy how you can put duct tape. It's just like, I can understand timeouts. I can even understand, you don't get a little dessert or you don't get an ice cream, but starvation and duct tape and rope? I'm hoping, regardless of how much they pay that lawyer, they are locked up at least minimum of 2 to 5 years. And obviously, I think it said 15 years, but again, with the American justice system, you get that good behavior, pretty look, and some money, and you might be out a little bit sooner than that. So if you made it all the way to the end, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. And hopefully it will not be this damn disgustingly sad. It's just like, let me read some of these comments. Things that you can withhold as punishment: TV time, spending money, sleepovers and hangouts, video games, staying up late, sweets and candy. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I can understand the dessert. Things you cannot withhold up as punishment: basic human needs. I wish that was on a t-shirt when I was a child. Okay. Because the way that was just not something that was clear to me. And a lot of kids, actually, as kids. Man, my childhood was so messed up. Anyways, y'all, goodbye. Because I could go on and on and on.
Is there more?
Maybe I'm cynical, maybe you feel it.